Connections on the master controller. You have a USB cable that will go to your computer. This has a wire and a special Molex plug that goes inside of the box. Okay. Then you have a connection coming out of the LCD that is marked receiver. This goes up and over to your receiver module. Okay, this will be pre-wired, but in case it gets disconnected, you can see that we are red, black, white, green. Okay, there's 5 terminals on that board. We're using the first 4. Okay, then we have a number of 18 gauge 2 conductor wires coming out of the LCD of my mock-up going to these switches. This would be the same as going to your home automation. So I'll cut these wires off. You can connect them to your home automation relays, okay, or splice them. Ideally, we don't want to run unshielded cable very long. So we would want to put your relay bank right at this LCD touchscreen, not like 50 or 20 feet away. Unshielded cable is not going to like being a long distance carrying these signals. Okay, so again, I'll cut these off. You will splice in your home automation relays here. Okay, then you have a Cat 5 cable that comes out of the LCD touchscreen. This Cat 5 goes to the very first our very first master controller. It daisy chains in, so both of these ports are identical. They're just a chain. So it comes out of LCD, our Cat 5, into one of the ports, doesn't matter which one, and then take another Cat 5 out of the other port, and it goes down into the RS-45 chain here on the second master controller, number 2. Out of the number 2, it goes down into number 3. And you can see it stops there. It doesn't go anywhere else after master controller number 3. Now on each system, you have your motor, and the motor has a 3 conductor 18 with a special Molex that gets the power from the motor driver. And each motor also has a Cat 5. Okay, each motor also has a home switch, which is the small connector here that goes to your home switch. Okay, the Cat 5 comes from your motor around and into a hole in the top of the master controller, into the counter where it says motor, out of the counter here, back out of the box up here, into the motor logic port. So what we've done is we've inserted the counter module in between the motor Cat 5 port and this Cat 5 port. And what that does is it allows us to insert the battery back up and insert the counter modules. Okay, so you're not going to really be disconnecting the counter modules. But I'll tell you these connections. There's this 8 pin Molex connector that jumps up under the board and runs over to one side of the master controller. Okay, but that will be connected. You don't need to disconnect that. There is the connection from the battery that we already talked about. It goes from the battery into the box, into the terminals here. We want to make sure that we don't accidentally short out the 12 volts to anywhere on any one of these boards. We want to make sure that when the battery is connected at the battery, these are connected properly. Red goes to plus, black goes to minus. Otherwise, we may do some real damage if this 12 volts is loose in here making contact with anything. Okay, that's pretty much it for the connections. If we need to make USB or software changes to each master controller, we would do it individually to the USB port on each master controller. Each one has a USB port, which is a typical printer cable. If we need to make software changes to the LCD, it's done via a special USB programming module here, which will just float around outside of the box. Okay, I think that's all the connections. If I think of something, we'll come back. Each master controller will get plugged into the UPS. Sorry about the focus on all these wires, just throwing everything off. Each master will go to the battery backup. You could connect the wall adapter for the LCD touchscreen. It has its own 5-volt or 6-volt adapter. The receiver module has an adapter as well right here. So theoretically you could plug all of the devices into your battery backup. I put a strip here in the middle just to make it easier if you want to try to reach things around, because it's kind of spread around from 84 inches, I think. So that's all the connections.